Miss 的开头了。我呢是北校 PTA 的主席，我叫徐淑杰，谢谢大家今天能参与这个活动。
非常感谢我们这个徐女士，这个 PTA 的领导提供这样一个机会。现在正值这个税务繁忙的季节，对，所以说呢，我今天带来了我们公司的CEO John Place, the CPA for over 30 years, a lot of experience. So I'm going to talk for a while, and then I'll give some time for him to talk about some of the most commonly concerned questions we have in the Chinese community in particular. And also I have my assistant, Kyle Fan. He's my assistant, a very smart gentleman. Okay. We also today have 有些客人说听不懂中文，所以说我是中英文都讲今天啊。我们欢迎我们今天从南康 Greenville 来的这个我们的这个东风先生啊，从新移民到美国来，这个对税务方面非常关心。我们还有从田纳西 Memphis 专门开车10个多小时赶过来的这个2位山东来的这个山东人不知道到了没有可能一会儿就到。介绍一下我自己的这个，我的名字叫 Steve New， 我是这个我们亚特兰大168郭是跟我是老乡，很多年的朋友。这个顺便提一下，我们亚特兰大168在我们公司进入亚特兰大市场以后，出了很多力气，帮了很多忙。这个平台是非常非常优秀的，我跟老婆经常一起说。帮我们亚特兰大华人做了很多很多的好事情，所以说我今天趁此机会，感谢我老乡老郭同志帮我们做了很多事情。我自己做这个是一个 professor in taxation over the last 15 years, and I am specialized in cross-national taxations, with multi-state taxations, some complex cases. You're going to start our slides. I'm a professor at Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm also a board member for 4 organizations in China, including I'm a board member for Xi'an University of Science Technology, 西安科技大学，我是董事长。As you all know, I'm specialized in international taxation, taxation in the Chinese community in particular. Our community has some unique characteristics compared to general public. Okay, next slide. In the last 15 years, I've been helped our community, our people, fight over 215 audit cases. Yeah, I spent so many years to research to find out what I call a non-cost goods sold theory. 非成本销售的一种这个计算办法。这种查税的办法呢，在弥补了我们这个美国政府跟我们中国企业之间的一些这个误会，做了一些修正性的东西。So this is called a non-cost good theory. By using this theory, I have been found over a lot of cases, and we won a lot of cases. 参与了很多这个大型的查税案件。所以说呢，这个理论是比较流行的，就等一会儿呢，就看我们书包里面有一本书拿过来，可以给大家看一下。also 写了一本书关于中国企业怎么样去预防查税。这个书大家有兴趣的话，可以将来在网上去购买。就专门帮助中国企业怎么样去预防政府查税，包括 IRS、State Department、Labor Department。Local tax authority. I spent 15 years to come up with some of the experience, put all my experience in this book. Okay, so if you're interested to have this book online, you can purchase online. So next slide, Kyle. Yeah. This is the book I'm talking about. I spent 50 years talking about mostly Chinese restaurant industry, but also because we are similar business, so it's applied to all Chinese industry, Chinese communities. 我看下一个，有没有听不懂英文的？我们这边听不清楚，因为回声特别大。是吗？对。老郭， 过。所以说呢，这个希望大家呢这个顺便介绍一下，我们公司呢是2001年成立的，目前15年，一共有60多个会计师，都有8个 office， 其中呢，我们的 headquarters 总部在 North Carolina， 然后在 Manhattan New York、Flushing New York、Brooklyn New York、Atlanta Georgia、Charlotte North Carolina、Philadelphia Pennsylvania and Shanghai China. We have 8 branch firms. Okay, we also have some other firms under this company. And our company has been authorized by IRS, served as a certified acceptance agent. What that means is that our firm can apply a tax ID number without submit your passport to IRS, which is very rarely. It's a pretty tough procedure to get this proof. So our firm can, if you have a parent coming to see you, you want to claim that as a dependent on your tax return. Normally you need to submit your parent's passport to us for 6 weeks. If you turn to us, all we do is make a copy of your passport. You don't have to submit the passport to the IRS for 6 weeks. Sometimes it is very inconvenient to you got to travel back and forth. If you turn your passport for the IRS for 6 weeks, sometimes it is very inconvenient. 所以我们公司呢是这个代理数据审查这个税号，如果你想申请税号刚移民过了以后没有拿到这个 Social Security number 之前怎么办呢？可以申请一个我们叫做 RTR 呢。这个号码什么意思呢？这个号码只是用来报税用的This is only for tax return purpose. This ID is not eligible to work in the United States. It is just suppose your husband is a U.S. citizen, or he can work in the U.S., whereas you have for example, H4 visa, you cannot work. How are you going to file a return? You have to have a tax ID in order to file tax return with your husband. So that's the purpose of, a lot of people ask me, can I use this ID to issue a W-2? No, the answer is no, you cannot do that. That number is just to help you to file the tax return. It's not eligible for work legally in the United States. Okay, this is the organizational structure of our company. It's a huge company. We have a board of trustees, we have a director, we have a CEO, which is Mr. Blake. With over 30 years of his practice, he's been working in large CPA firms and also has his own practice for quite a few years. Very experienced, and he used to also work for a tax software company. Right? There's a lot of experience to overlook the program and everything. So I'm going to give some time for Mr. Blake to give us some of share some of his experience as far as our community is concerned. Okay? All right. So, this is the address, telephone number of our company. But today is not trying to do advertising for our company. Today I'm going to teach you some of the strategy, some of the methodology in our community in particular. How are we going to save our tax money? How are we going to drop our tax bracket? I've been working. You guys work in large firms. Both you and your spouse has a high income. How are we going to reduce our tax brackets legally without any problem in the future? What is your concern? What are some of the strategies? And that's what I'm going to talk to you today in particular. Alright, the next slide. In the last few years, we have been bringing a lot of Chinese investors come to U.S. like Mr. Yi. We bring a lot of this Chinese company into U.S. market, create a lot of job opportunities for these countries. Okay. All right, go ahead. Yes, check. Today I'm mostly talking about some of the cross-nation taxes. Why is that? Because most of you guys immigrant from China, you have assets in China, and you are a U.S. citizen. Right now the U.S. government is trying to crack down foreign financial assets. They take this serious now. The last few years, they're just talking about they never take action, but now they take actions. How are we going to prevent being in trouble? What's some of the strategy we need to consider in order to be, to provide all those tax issues? Okay, so yes, before I do that, I do like to give you some hands-on on the new tax change this year. There's few changes this year which we need to keep in mind. The few things that the number one, the Obamacare. A lot of people penalized this year because when you purchased Obamacare last year, you didn't report your income correctly. Say if you tell that your insurance agent you only has $30,000 income and by the time you do this year's return you have $40,000. What's happening? You're going to pay back all this premium the government subsidize to you. You have to pay back, penalize. You know how much? I have clients pay as high as $10,000 penalty. So we need to be very, very careful when you purchase Obamacare. Most of you guys work in large firms. You have 401ks, you have health insurance covered. But for those individual business owners, self-employers, you need to be very, very careful. If you don't see doctor very often, I don't recommend you to purchase Obamacare because, a lot of misunderstanding going on. What the agent told you is not what the exact government is looking for. So I have a lot of people being penalized this year. And that penalty is not be able to remove. Because you say you're $30,000 and you end up with $40,000 income, it's supposed to, your premium is $600, the government pay $400, you pay $200. Now your actual income is $40,000 and you need to pay back at least $200 or $300 premium the government paid for you. That's a mandatory. There's no excuse. You have to pay back. So when you purchase Obamacare this year, you need to also pay attention. Okay, or same story. If you tell your agent you have $6,000 income this year, and by the time you do your tax return, end up with $7,000, you'll be in trouble. So we need to be very, very careful. If your income is too high, I would recommend you go to your employer to purchase a health insurance coverage. Alright, so that's my suggestion. The standard deduction has been increased from 62 to 63. For married filing, adjusted from $12,400 to $12,600. Personal exemptions from $39,000 to $39,500. Okay, what that means is what? If your income is, if you're single, 63 plus 39, that's 99.5. If your income is under 99.5, that means what? You don't have to report your tax return at all. You don't have to. This comes up from a lot of strategy for us. Some business owner says, since you have this regulation, so I'm going to give some income from my business to my mother, to my father, to my brother, to my sister, because they don't have to file the returns. This is another way to save your tax money. A lot of people didn't realize that. This is true. If you own a restaurant, you end up need to pay for $10,000 tax. So why don't you issue some 1099s to your brothers, sisters? This is people use that. This is legal. There's nothing wrong with that. It's called household employees. You can give some 1099 to your mother who take care of your children. So issue a 1099, use your social security number. Yeah, this is legal. Yeah, it's called a household employee. What else? If you have a big savings on your account, 如果你银行里面存款很多的话，怎么办呢？把这个存款放在你小孩子名下的话，那小孩子我们有一个 kiddie tax，kiddie tax1000多块的那个 interest income is not taxable, or the tax rate is only 10%. So we actually shift our income. This is a lot of people didn't realize this is going to save your tax money. All this is working fine, works great. Okay? The high income family, this year the tax rate can go as high as 39.6%. Okay, very high. You know, 如果你的收入很高，而且你的 deduction 很高的话，我会产生一个叫 AMT tax。这个 AMT tax 叫追加税。这个追加税不得了，这个追加税害了很多人。追加税的税率是相当高的。所以我们在做税的时候注意啊，如果你 income 很高的话，在 deduction 方面不要弄得太高，太高了以后会 trigger AMT tax. AMT tax is very, very high tax brackets. This tax law was designed for higher income family and trying to do a lot of deduction, penalize you for the high income family. Okay, so make sure when you do your return, do not, if your income is high, do not do a lot of deduction. Otherwise, AMT tax is huge. Okay, so next slide. The education credit for the students and the teachers, you can have as far as $2,500. That's called what? American Opportunity Credit. It used to be what we call HOP credit. This credit is continuous. So if you have kids, use college, 4 years college, you're eligible to get the $2,500 of credit. It's called the American Opportunity Credit. And also if you just part-time or if you just learn, take some courses, trying to get a degree in the future, and then we can have something we call the lifetime learning credit. That's for the part-time folks like you guys. Have a job and same time go to school, we can have the lifetime learning credit. Okay? The good news is by home office. The last few years is very complicated. You have to suppose你的这个房子22500尺，其中有500尺你做你的 home office， 他要把你的这个水费、电费、房租、mortgage、保险所有的东西1/5去做你的这个减税，非常麻烦。今年的话，税务局说没关系，就给你5块钱一个平方尺，就这样算很方便，非常方便。比如说你这个300 square foot。300个平方，那怎么办？300乘5，就直接给你deduct，这样很方便这是一个 new change。Okay, next slide. The medical expenses used to be 7.5% of your AGR. This year go up to 10%. Alright, so that's a change. That's a huge change. Okay, so we need to be careful because the medical expenses deduction has to go up to 10%. What that means is what? 如果比如说你的这个 AGR 是3万块钱，那你要超过你的看病的那些费用超过3000以后才可以deduct。你比如说你只有2000多块钱，你就放都不要放了以后没用，放不了什么好。OK， 这是一个 change。以前是 7.5%, now it is the 10%. Okay, 10%. Alright, okay, next one. The Social Security tax rate basis has been increased to $117,000. Meaning, if your Social Security wages go over $117,000, you don't have to pay no Social Security tax no more. This is very good.